What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel. Excuse me, and for today's Yu-Gi-Oh news video, it is all about the new cards that are in Darkwing Blast, which includes some new Splight support, excuse me, some new adventure support, some new Albaz support, and then of course a couple of other new cards that will also be in the set. I don't think I have a whole lot of other new cards to talk about on the channel. I think I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I've got 4. I've got 4 other topics of cards to talk about on the channel. I'll probably do that in next week's video. I'm not entirely sure, but honestly, this might be one of the only few like core sets that, of the year that I'm excited for. Because if you guys don't know or don't remember at all, the only 3 core booster boxes that I have sealed still to this day, are these. First up, obviously, Lightning Overdrive. Not one of the best sets, but it did give us a bunch of Black Rose support, and as you guys can tell by the cover of the box, it did give us some Utopia support that we needed. Battle of Chaos that I got earlier this year. It's still a pretty busted set. Obviously, you know, the new Blue Eye support, the new Dark Vision support, the new DD support. It's still pretty cool. And then, of course, Dawn of Majesty, probably one of the, not least favorable, but like one of the more, I guess one of the least expensive sets I've bought so far. But of course, you guys know I also have these 2 boxes, Toon Chaos, still have it to this day. Genesis Impact, which is like one of the worst sets possible, but it did give us a bunch of really insane reprints like the Nightmares and whatnot. And then of course my most recent purchase was last month when I bought this Legend Duelist Duels from the Deep, which is pretty insane. I still have my 2019 tins, my 2020 tins, my 2021 tins, as well as my Striking Neos box, my Korean box, obviously, and of course too my my purchase of Legend Duelist Season 3. With the exception of the Striking Neos box, everything else I did get from my partners at the collector store. So be sure to check them out. Link will be in the description below, as will the info to their store, their address. If you guys want to check them out physically, if you guys are in the St. Peter's area, be sure to check them out. And look for Ben. Let him know I sent you. Ben is such a good dude. But all those products I got, and again, all these sets are like my personal favorite. And I think Darkwing Blast might be another one of my personal favorites because of two things. Number one, obviously the brand new Blackwing support that we are getting. I think it's been about, what, 4 years, I think? I want to say it was about, excuse me. I want to say it was about like 3 or 4 years since we got the new support. So I think it's pretty cool that we're finally getting it. But also, too, the second reason, there's been rumors going around saying that supposedly Blackwing Dragon is going to be the big Starlight reprint that will be in the set. Which honestly, if it's true, I so want to get my hands on a box and open it up on the channel for you guys on the hopes to pull that Starlight reprint. Which, to be fair, Starlights in core sets is like one in the core sets, or like one per, I think it's like 4 per case or something like that. So the odds of pulling one are as slim, but they're pretty slim. But honestly, I'm excited for these new cards. So hopefully you guys are ready. If you guys are and you guys want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh news videos, which get posted on Tuesdays and of course sometimes on weekends, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, give this video a thumbs up, and follow me on all my social media. Links will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. If you guys do want to send fan mail, all the info will be in the description as well. Let's kick things off, obviously, with the new Splight or Sprite support, I believe is what they're calling it here in the TCG. We have Sprite, which is a Fire Thunder Link 2. Yeah, it's a Link with 1400 attack, and its arrows are bottom left, top right, and it requires 2 monsters, including a level, rank, or Link 2 monster. Both of its effects are a hard once per turn, and this card cannot be used as Link material the turn it was Link summoned, which is unfortunate. But what's cool about this is that you can then trigger its effects and then just tribute it off for, like, you know, or just like use it as like fusion material or something like that to go into a potential super poly target, which in this case I believe the only fire super poly targets are, like, honestly, there really isn't a whole lot in my opinion. Go to my Arcana deck. I think the only, like, the only super poly targets I think are, like, I don't even know. Let's see. Let's go monster, category fusion, attribute fire, card pull TCG and OCG, results all, and search. And let's see what we got. We do have some. I don't know. We've got a few. Do we? No, I don't think so. We do not have any super poly targets. Let's see. I think everything requires, like, certain monsters. I think. Violet Chimera would probably be one super poly target, but it would require your opponent to play Salads, which is, like, the worst matchup. Grista would be another one. El Shadal Grista, but again, your opponent would have to run Shadals. Purgatrio, invoked Purgatrio, but again, you have to run Alistair. There's a couple of fire super poly targets, but the only problem is that they require a certain type, certain monsters, if you will. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But with that said, but with that being said, this card has 2 effects which are hard once per turn. And the first effect reads: if this card is linked summon, you can send a level 2 monster from your deck to your grave. So it acts essentially as a Foolish Burial to help trigger off some of the other Sprite blah, 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 blah. I can't speak. To help trigger off some of the other Sprite effects, which can give you an extender to go into some of your other link plays, or to help go into gigantic Sprite, I believe it's called. So it's not too bad. And then the second effect reads: if another monster or monsters is supposed to summon while this monster is on the field, you can detach a material from your Xyz monster, then target a monster on the field, returns to the hand. So again, this card is more of an extend. It's more of a more sort of like a disruption on board, where you can just compulse one of your opponent's monsters back to their hand. But if it was a monster from the extra deck, it essentially just puts your opponent back a turn, basically, which is not too bad. I have to admit, it's not too shabby. And then the last of the new Splight cards, because there's only two, we have Splight Double Cross, which is a normal trap, and the effect is a once per turn, which reads: target a monster on the field or in the grave, activate one of these effects, attach it to your rank 2 monster as material. If your opponent controls it, place it in your zone your link 2 monster points to, and take control of it. If it's in the grave, special summon it to your zone, your link 2 monster points to. So again, this card is more of an extender, and it's kind of like a snatch steal of sorts. But you can also use, you can also attach one of those monsters to your rank 2, which could be, I believe could be almost anything at this point. I'm gonna try and do this really quickly. Go to this. Let's see, category exceeds type. Let's see, go to 2. And if you guys hear noise in the background, I have I've got music going on my Fire Stick on YouTube, but also the trash people had just showed up, so I do apologize. So I mean, some of the rank 2s that you could run number 45, Crumble Logos, the Prophet of Demolition, which is not too bad. Number 29, Mannequin Cat, Joyous Melfi's, if you wanted to do a Sprite Melfi's package. Sky Cavalry Centauria. Let's see, Onibamaru Soul Sweeper. Obviously, Gigantic Sprite is the other one. Shining Elf would be one. Cursed Javelin wouldn't be too bad. Dagosto Phoenix, which is kind of hilarious. Ghost Trick, Succubus. Number 65, Gem Buster, and then obviously to go into King Overfiend. Number 64, Ronin Raccoon Sandayu. Nice, obviously token spam going to, to go into a Link Karibo. Not too bad. Melfi Mommy, Herald of Pure Light, if you wanted to run a Herald package. Melfi of the Forest, Gantetsu, which, it's okay, it's not too bad, but still. Cat Shark, Armored Kappa, number 96, Dark Mist, if you wanted to go the anti-meta route, this card wouldn't be too bad. Obviously the Paleozoic linked rank 2s, we have, what was it, Anomalakaris, and then the other one is Opabina. You can also go into number 42, Manipulator of Souls, if you wanted to go into the snatch, into the snatch steal route. But you can also go into the new number, which is number 2, Ninja Shadow Mosquito, which would be interesting. So there's a few rank 2s you can run, but still it's kind of, with Double Cross, it's kind of like a snatch steal, so it's not too bad. Again, I'm not really, honestly, a lot of these newer cards really don't interest me because of the fact that I'm more of an old school person, but to read off just to read off these effects is absolutely incredible because it gives people who play these decks, it gives them an idea of what type of what route they can take with those new cards, whether it's a control beatdown, an anti-meta strategy. The possibilities are endless. So next up, we do have some brand new adventure cards, and the first one is Sacred Spirit Vessel Thesia, which is a 4-star Earth Fairy with 1,000 attack and defense, and Both of its effects are once per turn, and the first effect reads: if you control Adventurer token, you can special summon this card from your hand, which is a Cyber Dragon. Not much else to say about that. Second effect reads: you can reveal one card that mentions Adventurer token in your hand, add one non-normal spell that mentions Adventurer token from your deck to your hand, and you cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this card except Adventurer token and monsters that mention it. So obviously you're gonna be going. Obviously, you're gonna be you're gonna be searching out mostly the continuous spells, you know, the field spell for them, and one of those continuous spells is this one, which is Aramatir of the Forbidden Spell, which I'll get to it in a second. So it's more. This card is basically an extender to go into your link plays next turn. So you're gonna want to try to build your adventure deck solely around using the token as some sort of like excuse material or something like that. Truth be told, the adventure token it's a weird archetype in my personal opinion. But next up of the adventurer cards we have Aramatir, the Forbidden Spell, and it has two effects which both are once per turn. And the first effect reads: during your main phase, you can special summon one adventurer token, which is a 4-star Earth Fairy, 2000 attack and defense to either field, then send one card from your hand to the grave. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this card except the adventurer token and monsters that mention it. Second effect reads: if a monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one adventurer token to either field. So basically it's token spam. Go, next round, next turn, go into your link plays. You're pretty much off to the races there. With that being said, next up is an unrevealed card, as YG Organization calls it. Big shout out as always, no copyrights. We have World Ocean Dragon Zealantis, which is a Water Sea Serpent Link 4 with 2500 attack, and its arrows are top, left, right, and bottom. Basically the same as Firewall Dragon, which is hilarious. And it requires one or more effect monsters. Think about that. One or more. What the fuck? That's like so that I'm keeping it real, that's like so stupid. That's so stupid. Anyway, the second and third effects are once per turn, and the first effect reads: you can only control one World Ocean Dragon Zealantis. The second effect reads: during your main phase, you can banish as many monsters of the field as possible, and then special summon as many of them as possible to their owner's fields in face-up attacking position, face-up defense position, or face-down defense. So, okay, so I guess it resets the board to a stalemate, I guess, where I don't know how that would work out. You can banish as many monsters on the field as possible, then special summon as many of them as possible to their owner's fields. Oh, I get it now. Oh, I get it. Okay, so basically, if your opponent were to activate a Snatch Steal-like effect on your monsters, and they control them, and they control their own monsters, it basically resets the board where they have their monsters and you have yours, basically, which is actually that's actually pretty broken, honestly. The third effect reads: during the battle phase, as a quick effect, you can destroy cards on the field up to the number of code-linked monsters. Oh, fuck. Okay, so yeah, definitely gonna be using the Nightmare package for this one. This one will be very interesting. So how would this go? Summon this first. Go into the Cerberus, then go into the Unicorn, and then go into the Phoenix to, in that order, and that basically just gives you what, 1, that gives you what, 4 pops on board? Wow, that is way too broken. That is so good. It's just too good, guys. There's a note underneath that says we had originally guessed it was Zilla as in Godzilla, which take this name from Kujira, Japanese for whale. Further investigation seems to infer its name as Zealandia, the submerged continental plate that New Zealand and New Caledonia sit on, and Atlantis, the legendary sunken ocean. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Now we move on to some more new Albaz support, and the first one is Final Battle at Golgonda, which I believe this is the last of the entire Albaz strategy, because I think the Albaz strategy kind of started in what was it, like Rise of the Duelists or something like that, right around the time that Konami stopped printing cards from the anime in core sets, and they mainly focused on the support for all these different archetypes that we've had over the years. So I believe this is the last 2 cards. I don't know. There could be more. I could be wrong, but who knows? But Final Battle is a continuous spell, and the third effect is a once per turn, and the first effect reads, this card's name becomes Great Sand Sea Golgonda while on the field or in the grave. Second effect reads, once per turn, if a card or cards you control will be destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can send one fusion monster that mentions Fallen of Albaz as material from your extra deck to the grave instead. So it essentially, with that effect, if one of your cards were to be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can just use this card as an extra Fool's Burial. Send that Albaz fusion to your graveyard, and then during the main phase 2, activate Monster Reborn, resummon that monster back, pop, and then just combo off from there, and eventually your opponent will have no choice but to just scoop, which that's actually not too shabby. So it's sort of like a Dragon Lords of Swords, which is not too bad. And then the third effect reads, during each end phase, if you have Fallen of Albaz on your field or in your grave, you can special summon one Spriggan's monster from your hand or deck. So that's not too bad. So it's kind of like a Cyber Rev system, but instead of the graveyard, it's from the deck, which is not too bad. And then last up of the brand new Albaz cards / Tri-Brigade, we have Tri-Brigade Last Stand, which is a continuous spell, and both of its effects are once per turn. And the first effect reads, if a Beast Warrior, and or Winged Beast monster or monsters is special summoned to your field, you can target one of your band's Tri-Brigade monsters added to your hand. So this is kind of like a different dimension reincarnation, but instead of summoning the monster, you're adding it back to your hand, which is really good. Second effect reads, if your Tri-Brigade monster battles an opponent's monster, after damage count, you can return that opponent's monster to the hand. Woo! It's a compulse, and yeah, that might be some major problems for your opponent. Major problems. There's a note here that reads, the deadline here is referencing Shishin, which means the point between life and death, being on the verge of death itself. Basically, they're trying to evoke a final charge, last rally, final or last stand, charge of the Light Brigade, 300 Spartans sorta mood. Okay. That, Oh! God, oh! I am so stupid. We have one more card to talk about on the channel. Oh my god, guys, I am so sorry. That note just kind of, like, got me a little rattled there for a second. Anyway, last card. Final card to talk about on the channel. We have Lady of the Labyrinth, which is a 8-star Dark Fiend. 3,000 attack, 2,900 defense, and the first and third effects are once per turn. And the first effect reads: if a labyrinth card's effect except this card or a normal trap card was activated previously this turn as a quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense. So this is basically a Cyber Dragon, which is just too good. Any monster that has the Cyber Dragon effect is just too fucking good, and you know that it's gonna be, you know damn well that it's gonna be so broken that people are going to abuse the living fuck out of it. Second effect reads, while you control a set card, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects, and it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So it's a protection. So as long as you have cards set, you're pretty much good to go. I don't know if it's back row, or if it's just a or if it's a monster set, or if it's both. I don't know. I don't know. Not entirely sure, but the third effect reads, when a normal trap card is activated as a quick effect, you can set one normal trap with a different name directly from your deck. I mean, this would basically give the second effect a much more added boost, so to speak, which isn't too bad. There's a note underneath that says, when we mean normal trap card here, we're not talking about the activation of normal trap effects such as Breakthrough Skill in the Grave or those of equipped traps. This is a normal trap card flipping face up. So that basically clarifies things. But that's gonna do it for this video. And really quickly before I sign off, this brings me to the question of the day. Do you guys think the Splight archetype will be a competitive deck? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm very curious as to what you guys have to say. And that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh news videos, which get posted every Tuesday, sometimes on weekends, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all my social media. Links will be in the description, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.